Hello again, I'm Tripp Rogers, and this is Tripp's Take. Well, I've just returned from a weekend sojourn back to my native New Jersey. It was really a fun time. Now, a couple of things that really stood out in my mind. First off, I actually got to have real New Jersey-style pizza, real New Jersey bagels, and I went to my favorite sub shop, White House Subs in Atlantic City. Yes, I posted something on social media, and I said, Daddy's home. But here's the big observation I had. It was the first time I had actually flown on a plane since the pandemic of 2020. I actually flew into Newark Airport on the last Friday of February when the lockdown was close to coming, and I was amazed at how deserted on a Friday afternoon Newark Airport was. It wasn't too long after that we went on lockdown mode. But I haven't flown since. And one of the reasons is because I'm petrified of flying somewhere and getting my flight canceled at the last minute for no reason and not being able to get out. I mean, that's a scary thought. And so, 9 times out of 10, I'll drive. However, necessity because of work forced me into flying instead of driving this time. I was going up for the ShopRite LPGA golf tournament, and I had to do morning drive this week at Q105.3. So, kind of necessity, I had to fly up. And it was, like I said, I have no complaints about flying. I mean, granted, you kind of get stuffed in there, and there are limitations, and they charge you for your bags and all that. The long litany of stuff. I got smart. I shipped a box of my clothes up to New Jersey, because I'm going to my sister's house. So I had everything waiting for me when I got there, and it was the best part about the trip. So for about the same price it would cost for a bag one way, I ended up paying for my luggage. And granted, I've got wash that's got to come home, but big deal. What are you gonna worry about? But I was rather pleased. And, the experience was good, but the most expensive part of this trip, aside from all the food I ate, of course, was the rental car. I mean, rental car prices are still sky high. And the other thing that really struck me is the security, especially at Newark Airport. I mean, to get in and out of the rental car place, I mean, basically, you almost had to give a pint of blood and sign over your firstborn. I understand, I get it. It because of the location in the New York City area, I'm sure there's a lot more security, but it's just one of those. It was one of those things that kind of struck me because I've never dealt with that. Of course, the only time I've rented cars over the past couple of years has been here in Savannah, and we go to a local outlet, and it's none of the, it's not a big rental car place, and it's not millions of people coming there, so you don't have to deal with that. But that was the thing that kind of shocked me. Second thing that kind of shocked me was I always loved Newark Airport. They built it in the 1970s. It was very simplistic design. You had A, B, and C, Terminal A, Terminal B, Terminal C, and it was all off of the driveway would go all around. I really love that. Now, over the years, Newark Airport has increased in air traffic, and they've had to expand, and now they're undergoing a major expansion. Oh boy, what a mess. No longer does it have that very simplistic design. If you've gone to Newark Airport, you know what I'm talking about. Now you got to really find your way around, and it's kind of tough. Oh, the one thing I did find, though, just down the street from Newark Airport on routes 1 and 9, there's a Wawa. So I'm a happy camper, and I know where I'll stop every time I come into New Jersey. Although my first stop at Wawa was a chance to see my niece, Betsy. And it was good to go up. I mean, I didn't really tell that many people I was going up to visit New Jersey. And one of the reasons is because I was going up for kind of some work, and I was involved with that. The other thing was I got to spend a lot of time with my daughter, and that's always good because Father's Day is just around the corner, and it's always good to remember the reason what's made my life so much better. Being a father is one of the greatest experiences in the world. It's one of the toughest jobs in the world, but I would not trade it for the world. So, talk about a couple other things. Jerry West passed away. Now, I was a diehard New York Knicks fan when I was growing up, but I had respect for the Lakers. They were a good team. Wilt Chamberlain, Elgin Baylor, and Jerry West. And I remember when Jerry West hit that half-court shot to tie the Knicks and send the game in overtime in the NBA Finals. There was Game 3 in 1970. Just unreal. Wilt Chamberlain, it said he was heading to the locker room. He said he thought the game was over. And they had to call Wilt out of the locker room to come back to play because West hit that miracle shot. He also hurt his hand on that shot, and it bothered him for the rest of the series. Knicks 1-7 game. Of course, the Knicks and Lakers had 3 great battles in the finals. The Lakers winning their only NBA title in 1972 against the Knicks, and then the Knicks came back and beat them in 1973 for a second championship in 4 years, and ironically, the last championship. Jerry West also the model for the logo for the NBA, and of course there were calls after Kobe Bryant's death to change that to Kobe. I disagree. Jerry West epitomized the NBA. All-star every year he played, and then after, a coach, general manager, he was so instrumental in the NBA for so many years. His passing was mourned at the age of 86 by the NBA. And, of course, the NBA Finals, unfortunately, the Lakers aren't there, and the Celtics are going to roll to their 18th championship, it looks like. They're up 3-0 over Dallas. One other quick note, and we were talking about Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. As I said, it's one of the things that I'm most proud of, but it's kind of funny because, you talk about people who have their birthdays on Christmas and celebrate both holidays. Well, Father's Day is right around my birthday, and some years it's like a couple days before, or a day before, and Father's Day, I think, has more meaning to me than my birthday. I mean, I've had many more birthdays than I have had days that I've celebrated being a father. So my daughter is 27. This will be the 27th year that we've done it, and I don't mind. I mean, I think with the birthday thing coming up next week, I'll talk about that on next show, but 65 birthdays, an awful lot of birthdays. It is. Father's Day, though, never gets old. So if you are, and being a father is the greatest gift in the world. And I mean, there are so many fathers who don't take advantage. And listen, I had a rough go, and there was a time that I almost lost my daughter because I had my eyes on the wrong prize. And finally I was able to fix that, and I have so many good memories. My daughter would come see me every weekend right through her senior year, and I said to her, listen, if you want to go and spend time with your friends, it's okay, I understand. And she never did. Always wanted to come down and be with Dad, and would always spend one day on the weekend with me. So that's a memory I can never change and never take back. So Stephanie, I'm proud to be your father. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. And that is Tripp's Take for June 13th, 2024. Love to hear your comments and questions about the podcast. Just email trippstake@gmail.com. Fantasy football players, I got together with the Hall of Famer Mike Scheck. We were walking the back nine on Sunday's ShopRite LPGA event in Galloway Township, and we were talking fantasy football. That's right. Sultans will be back. Training camp starts soon. If you want to follow the Fantasy Sultans, you can do so on Spotify for podcasters. You can also find it on YouTube. Just search for the Fantasy Sultans. If you like the music of the 60s, 70s, and 80s, we'll rock and roll for you. WTRSradio.com. Join me again next week. For now, I'm Tripp Rogers. Thanks for joining me. Make it a great one.